Welcome to Catch Da Craze. We are the heart of the industry.
I'm so crazy. You so crazy. Crazy. Who's the craziest? I'm so crazy. You so crazy. Crazy. Who's the craziest? I'm so crazy. You so crazy. Crazy. Who's the craziest? I'm so crazy. You so crazy. Crazy. Who's the craziest? Now who's the craziest? Now who's the craziest? Now who's the craziest? Now who's the craziest?
Coming this summer, Daystar Studios fantasy thriller, The Quest. Check your local comic shops and visit www.daystar-studios.com. Silver Bullets, Cinescape, Licensing Magazine, Broken Frontier, Jasma Online, Newsarama, Indie Comic Review, The New Jersey Journal, Heroic Times, Circle of Confusion, KDKA Radio, Nuff Said Radio, On the Inside Now, The Comic Book Novice Show, What is the World Talking About? There's an Alien in My Toilet, a sci-fi comedy series by creator Samuel Vera. Meet the creator firsthand at the San Diego Comic Con, July 18th through 22nd, and get your copy signed today.
Welcome to Catch Da Craze Podcast Audio Mix. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
Michelle, the Maniac Martin.
And we're sitting here with a surprise co-host.
Hey.
And you are?
Name, please.
I'm the movie guy. Yes.
All right. This Mexican sitting next to me, his name is James Rodriguez.
Mexican.
And,
Another Tijuana man?
and we have a very special guest today. And this guy is put together a monster and a project called War of Independence. And this is the man behind the entire series, which is going to launch next year, 2008. His name is Dave Ryan. What's up, Dave?
What's shaking?
What's shaking? Nothing. So what's going on? Before we even get into War of Independence, let's talk about you and who you are and where you came from. So where were you born?
Let's get the correct title first. War of the Independence. Sweet Jiminy Cricket.
All right, War of
I really
the
think tuning into the
Independence.
violent liberal webcast or something like that. It's like, who is this guy, War of Independence?
The liberal Democrats. It's New York.
Well, we're gonna have for credit wise, we're gonna have to shorten it to War of Independence. Yeah.
All right, whatever it takes.
Every letter costs money. So what's up? Where were you born?
Bayonne, New Jersey.
Bayonne. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. So you have any siblings or just you?
Capital of cancer, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Not many people know, but per person in Bayonne, we have the most cancer.
No.
Well, I got to visit now.
That's just crazy. That's just crazy. And you still live in Bayonne?
No.
Okay.
They must have a lot of free apartments down there now.
Yeah, moved to Manhattan now, and although I do miss the toxins every once in a while, I have to put my mouth to a tailpipe of the car and breathe in deeply. I get my fix.
Nice. You're a monster.
Yeah, I got a sister, unfortunately. Yes.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, ouch.
Wow.
4 years younger and cuts hair on the Poconos, that's all I have to say.
Nice. So, what school did you go to?
Bayonne High, then went on to Jersey City State College, quit, went back, finished. What's that?
No, I'm just listening.
Yeah, it's now called the New Jersey City of the Diversity of the New Jersey, something like that. They changed it to, I'm not quite sure.
Right. So now, what age did you first get into comic books?
No, I don't even know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Is it lost days in the back of the
Well, I was born in 65 and I had comics. I started art school when I was 5, and I was drawing comics back then. So, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4, my mother got me comics.
Wow. Do you know what your first comic was?
No idea. No.
No idea.
I have early Marvel and DCs, so.
Right. So, at what point in your life did you realize this is something you wanted to do?
About a half hour ago, I think. I think it was 2 nights ago. I was drinking down in Tavern on Jane, 3 shots of Jameson, and I realized it was then I wanted to do comic books.
That was your epiphany, huh?
Since I sobered up, so I might change my mind.
Yeah.
I was not really going to do comics or any art, even when I was in school. I was thinking about going into law or biomedicine and stuff, but then I took a couple art classes and got a couple of A's and raised my GPA. So let me keep raising that GPA, and that's how I got into it.
Right. So now, what college did you go to? What did you major in?
It used to be called Teachers College years ago, and it's
I've heard of that one.
Jersey State College, New Jersey. We get a little echo here, guys. Just got it. Did you change something?
What?
I got a big echo here. Did you get something else? Change something just now?
No.
Oh, now it's okay. And majored in illustration. So, being a freelance artist when I got out of school, did any job you can get your hands on. So,
what was your first professional comic book project?
when I was a senior in school, I went over to do an intern over at Marvel. And, God, I don't even know how the year that was. But it was like 3 days a week and not paying. And it was a big commute from Bayonne over to...
Was it an internship?
Yeah.
What's that?
It was an internship.
Did it interest me?
No. Was it an internship?
It was an internship at Marvel, yeah. And I didn't take it, but I gave a buddy of mine text up there, and he took the internship and became an assistant editor, then an editor up there. So it worked out for him. So I didn't take it. But through that, I got myself a Punisher gig, which is originally how I met, actually not met, I met him beforehand with Scott Lobdell, who's helping me out with War of the Independents.
Nice.
Yeah.
He used to do stand-up before he was a Marvel writer.
He did stand-up?
Yeah, he did stand-up comedy, and that's actually how I met him. I met him back then, yeah, through a couple friends. So it's pretty wild now. He's helping me out with this. It's like 20 years later. It's hilarious.
Wow.
Wow.
Does he still do stand-up?
Not too many people laugh, so maybe it's not that hilarious.
I mean, I worked at Caroline's. I know how bad that audience can be.
I can't even hear what you're saying, which might be my benefit.
No, I worked at Caroline's Comedy Club once, and man, that's a tough audience.
Oh, yeah, Caroline's, right. Yeah. If you drink a lot after your show, and you forget a lot, and the next day you wake up, you might be a hit. I think I was pretty good last night.
Yeah, I had a great set.
It works out.
Now, as the years progressed, I mean, how many projects have you done before you decided to get involved with the War of the Independents?
After the Marvel thing, I did some independent stuff back then, including a book called Xenia, which is a
I remember that one.
It's not Xenia, Xenia.
Xenia, yeah, I remember that book, yeah.
Yeah, I did 3 issues with those guys, which is how I hooked up with my buddy Rich Kane Ferguson. He's a magic artist. And that's how I met the Hildebrands and Louis Small Jr. So, I mean, the publisher was just horrible back then. He was coming out once a year, the book. So.
Yeah, I think I worked on that book myself. Actually, I think I did 1 or 2 pinups for him.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think we might have even talked back then, or met back then. I'm not quite sure.
Possibly. I know I met Louis. I met Louis. I met Richard Kane and the writer. What was her name again?
Steve. Yeah, Steve Howell.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were thinking about I can't even get a hold. I have no idea even how to get a hold of Steve Howell to include Xenia in the War of the Independents. And he did great. He came out the same month as She did. Bill Tucci She, and I think Billy sold either 25 to 30,000, and Xenia sold over 50,000 copies, and it just did great. But unfortunately, the publishers couldn't keep up with everything that was going on at the time. I want to get into that.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I did a couple other things here and there in comics, but then back then it didn't pay anywhere near anything else. Even today, I mean, comparably, so I just did an advertising job, which was probably going to pay me more than almost all these 10 issues when I'm finished them. So,
So, you touched on a topic financially with comic books. So why, if you know that it's as far as comic book and making money on the comics itself, if it hasn't been lucrative, and we all know that it's not really lucrative, if it's just comics and without branching out into other markets, why do you still do it?
Hold on, I gotta get a drink.
Look, I'm depressed.
Damn. You're making this guy rethink his career. What are you doing?
Hey,
Thanks.
he said
Get
it.
the back of my legs with that one.
He said it.
Whatever, I gotta go.
You want some strong coffee?
I had enough of that.
Would you like a tequila shot?
Now you're talking. Well, after being out for so many years, and then I was trying to. You got a really bad echo again. Yeah. Okay, I still hear myself. I was doing some pinups here and there. Peter Palmiotti was always trying to go with me into doing some work and stuff, and it's just such a daunting task, like sometimes to do comic books as compared to like doing a painting or a job, advertising job or something like that, because like after you do a painting, it's sort of done and you're happy it's done, and like every panel doing comic books is like this daunting panel, and then it's like, then you're done and oh my god, I gotta do 4 more panels on this page, and it just pays no good compared to anything else. But I just decided, let me just do this. I got a couple things in the back burner too I want to get done, and if I die, I would never doing these. Well, no one will ever know that, but I'd like to do them before I die. Morbid.
So now let's get into War of the Independents. What made you come up with this whole concept? And
let me see. Well, actually, I guess what got me back in the comics last year was that a comic book challenge that Platinum holds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I put something together for that, and I went out there, and actually I went out there with Rich Ferguson, and Rich happened to do a book back in 1987 called Carnage with Eternity Comics, which was Scott Rosenberg's first company.
I remember that. Wow.
Yeah, and Carnage is actually in the War of the Independents, which is wild.
Yeah.
I mean, Peter Palmiotti was, oh my god, Carnage! I remember that character, and I was like, yeah, who remembers that from 1987? I don't know.
Me?
I barely remember this.
So, at the time, I was just, I had my gallery. I had a gallery in Bayonne, which I was teaching art school, and I was also teaching art up at Bayonne High School. And it was just, I just don't want any kids now. I hate them all, except for the ones buying this comic book. And I was just looking, I just finished up Crisis on Infinite Earths thing. I was looking at that, and then, Civil War was going to start, and it was just like the big, giant, daunting things. I remember when I was a kid, maybe once every couple of years, we had something big like that. And now it's like every month there's some huge, gigantic thing going on. Mm-hmm. And everybody's dying, so, I was just looking at Newsarama, and they had, the death of Light Ray coming up in... There's a spoiler.
What?
It's on Newsarama. I can't. They had Death of Light Ray from the New Gods, and I'm going like, they should just rename the comic books like Toe Tag or something like that.
Civil Morgue.
Civil Morgue.
Yeah, Civil Morgue could be great. Yeah, kill everyone. Just like Black Adam kills the entire country.
Bring them back.
Yeah.
Bring in the Undertaker.
Yeah, something like that. So I just said, I was looking on MySpace, and there's so many different creators on MySpace who have their own books and stuff. So I was like, let me try to ask everybody if they'd like to do something like that. And I asked Tucci in the beginning with Shane. He said yes. And I got a couple of, I guess the guys around my age who did books back then, and Joe Lynn's there with Cry for Dawn and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it just kept building and building and building until where we are here today.
Right.
Massive undertaking.
It is, yeah.
Do you know, offhand, do you know how big the cast is so far on this?
How many characters? It's over 100. Well, no, over 100 creators. So I would say maybe, I don't even know, maybe it's going to be maybe $120, $130, something.
Wow. And is this going to be a limited run or an ongoing series?
I hope to squeeze everyone in every single panel, also. No, it's just going to be 6 issues. It comes out of the book I'm going to do, Penance, which I did one issue of Penance back in 2000. And so I'm going to do 4 issues of Penance, and the villains and all the heroes come out of Penance. The 2 main villains come into War of the Independents, and, yeah. So in issue 4 of Penance, also we have some of the characters from the War of the Independents are in the last issue, like Cerebus and Power of the Valkyrie and Arcanus, Cade, and Ezra. So
Yes, right. I'm supposed to be doing a couple of pin-ups
That's right.
for you guys.
You're doing a pin up there. I saw a little sketch of that. You're out of control, Missy.
With her share hair. Yeah, I know. I'm going to
Yeah.
calm it down. It was just a concept sketch.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything.
But,
I
I
haven't
didn't say
worked
look
on
better
mine
with
yet.
Sonny Bono next door.
see.
Now the script, when tackling the script, did you guys sit down collectively and come up with the premise and the concept and I guess the plot of the whole thing, or where it's going and how it's going to end, or was that specifically on Scott's shoulders?
What script?
For War of what script?
He's working on the fly on this one.
You almost got me.
Yeah.
He's making it up as he goes
Type it in the
along.
words later.
Like a good
Script?
comic book
What's
artist.
that?
Yeah.
Words? What words?
Whatever. I'm just taking the dialogue from a bad B movie and putting it in the banner.
Plan 9?
You're like, what? What does this mean? I thought it out and put the whole thing together with Rich Ferguson, and at this point, Scott really doesn't know too much about it. I mean, he knows some of the characters are in and stuff, and I'm putting together, I have about half of issue 1 finished. Actually, not half. I do have half of issue 1 finished, and but that's basically dealing with the characters from Penance before all the other characters come in there. So really, that's sort of my baby, those characters, so I can write my characters in, and I really have to go over the whole thing with Scott. I mean, he's not really familiar with probably 90% of the characters, so
Right.
I think the thing is all plotted out and everything. So we're just going to start bouncing. It's going to be fun bouncing back and forth and making it up as it goes along, I think.
So, considering that you're doing the work on it artistically, how challenging was it to basically learn all those characters and get those?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, everybody mailed me their stuff, and I mean, I have a tremendous amount of independent comic books here, and they're just exciting, all the characters and all the different creators and stuff, and especially when other people draw the characters, and it's just wild. Everybody loves when someone does a pin up of somebody else's character if they're good.
Right.
And
Yeah, I'll do yours.
sorry, what? You want to touch my what? So, yeah, it's been a lot of
show.
Yeah, it's another show. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a dark corner.
Very dark.
So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
So now,
Yeah, but I've had a lot of time to familiarize myself with all the characters too. So
and how long has it? How long have you been working on the first issue, illustrating?
let's see. I did like the first page a while back, and then I had to I knew where it was going, so I just put it. Like in the last month or so, I've been working on the pages, and I'm just trying to. I was just struggling through a bad allergy I had too, which I didn't know it was an allergy, but wound up being a little rash, which I had to slow myself down a little bit. But it's coming along good.
Now, how was it? I mean, as far as getting a publisher to secure a publisher on this, how did that go?
Well, I was going to self-publish it, and I was considering self-publishing it. And let me see. I actually I emailed Arcana, Sean O'Reilly from Arcana, to get a hold of character Ant. And it just kept going back and forth from then until, Sean's very excited about everything, and he's got a pretty successful company. He's been around for 5 years. He said no late books, which is important, and it's a pretty unknown company, I think, but he's pretty determined. He's at every show, and there's a lot of good things about Arcana, and there's a lot of great things that are coming out of Arcana. So,
Yeah.
And he just gave me such a great vibe and deal that I couldn't just pass it up. But and I think it saves a lot too. I don't have to worry about it though, because I said the things Diamond. He's got it established. It's a lot different today with Diamond too than it was years ago.
Right.
I mean, you got a new independent company. They really don't even want to know you.
Right.
You have some sort of
Yeah,
established
I know
thing.
that.
Yeah, so they're going to turn you down in 2 seconds. I mean, they just turned down a friend of mine, Martha's Wade, who has a book, Jeddah. And Jeddah's got 2 graphic novels out, and he was going through, I think, Speakeasy, and when they folded...
I remember those guys.
What's that?
I remember Speakeasy.
Yeah, they had a lot of books, a lot of good books in there, and they folded, and some guys went to Marcosia and plugged Chuck Satterley. And he just went to Diamond and was going to do it himself, and they turned him down, which is amazing to me. I mean, he's got 2 graphic novels totally done, and a new issue. And he's doing Jeddah crossover for tie into the War of Independence, and he still got turned down. So
Wow.
Jeez.
And it's rough. You know that's going to sell a lot of copies, but he's new and they don't want to know him. So
yeah. I mean, I get the feeling like Diamond is like a lot like Hollywood. They just don't want to take a chance on something risky or new.
And it's like they got the market. They got the whole market. So what are you gonna
sadly.
do? Yeah. I mean, years ago, there was a Heroes World, or that's the con now, but it was like Heroes Unlimited or something like that on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. And that was one of Marvel's great financial deals where they bought those guys for like $12 million and they couldn't do anything and they shut them right down.
Right.
Thank you, Marvel.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, a monopoly.
Yes.
I believe that was Ron Perlman's baby, that idea. And that was about the same time they bought Malibu for like $11 million, I think, too.
Wow.
Just to get their Photoshop colorist.
All those greenbacks.
Yeah, I would have done it for $5 million, but whatever.
So let's talk about the War of Independence. What's the plot? What's the meat and potatoes about the story?
You want to give it all away? Jeez.
No.
Give the audience.
Give us a taste.
Give us a little teaser.
Give us a taste.
Sweet Jesus. They got two main villains that come over from Penance. They got Kane and Orcus. Orcus is the big, huge guy. He's like the Hulk-sized character with lovely horns on his head. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to open the gates of hell. So they're going out collecting all these relics and trying to build this sort of reverse Tower of Babel into the ground and open up the gates. And Heroes of Penance come over, follow him, and they get thrashed pretty bad. And they meet up with Dawn and a new character, Retro Girl, who are nothing related to powers. Thank you very much. And they go around and they sort of collect like all the heroes, sort of like they did in Crisis, the first Crisis, from time and space, collect them to build an army to fight against Orcus and Kane. And Orcus can raise the dead, so he's got a whole army of the dead. He's just completely unstoppable and savage. It eats people. So there you go. Yeah, he's sort of like the character Mangog from Thor, whereas he is the power of all the dead.
Right.
And he's also sort of a little bit of Hulk, a little bit of sort of like Grendel from Beowulf.
Nice.
Where he used to be human, and he's like 1,000 years old, and he's just completely mad, and he talks to himself all the time. You'll see in the first issue of Penance. It's the first few pages. You're just going to go like, "Oh, what is Dave Ryan taking?" Yeah. So, and the heroes have to fight against. There's a lot of twists and turns. In the second issue, they go into the Dreamtime.
Okay.
So the mystical characters. So the mystical characters are going to have their shine for that issue, and it's going to be wild. So it's going to be cool because the Max is in it. Sam Keith's the Max. And,
Nice.
Yeah, I heard about
the Max.
Wild
The Max.
stuff.
If anybody's not familiar, the Max exists in the Dreamtime too. So
Yes.
it's going to be
Max is cool. I
wild.
love Max.
Yes.
Yeah, and we have Super G from the Imaginaries is also an imaginary character who lives just in the Dreamtime. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be groovy
Sweet.
and savage.
Now, did you have any apprehensions about approaching all these creators and what their response would be when you basically came up with this idea?
No.
Very concise answer.
Just no. Yeah, I'm not going to be a politician. No, I didn't. A lot of guys around my age I knew already.
Right.
Who are like, quote, the bigger guys.
Right.
And the biggest problem I had with some of the newer creators who didn't know who I was, and but not too bad at all. I think you'll find that everybody in the comic community it's a small little knit community, and everybody's really willing to do something like this, especially promote the independence.
Right.
Because I know I found out about you through Peter.
What's that?
I know I found out about you through Peter.
Right.
Peter called me, and then he asked me to call you. So that's how we started talking.
Who am I talking to now, Sam?
No, James.
James.
I got the radio voice on right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was the porn voice, but the radio voice.
It could be that one too.
That's the Ron Jeremy voice.
It was the nation man.
Now Ron Jeremy sounds like this.
I don't want to hear Ron Jeremy right now.
Thanks.
So, what's your ultimate goal for this project? What would you like to see happen from this?
I want to become a millionaire.
Hey.
Cool.
Score.
Yes. I think if I could bring a little more attention to all the independent stuff, so much is. I mean, it's so. I mean, especially in those couple of years. I mean, I think Marvel and DC are so. They're just into sales, and which is not a bad thing, but it seems like there's a real lack of. I'm going to get in trouble here, but a real lack of good writers. I mean, there are some good writers out there, and I'm not patting myself on the back to being a good writer or anything, but I think they're just doing stuff like flash sales like Unmasking Spidey, Killing Cap. They're just doing all this stuff, and sales are picking up, but are the stories really that great?
Money's there, but the content is not there.
Yeah, it's just not. I mean, there's so many things you can do besides destroy everything.
Right.
I mean,
you can bring things to life.
Yeah, write a good story.
Make it compelling.
I'm sure we're going to get ripped in for that, but
No. We just had a conversation about that.
except for my good friends. There are some good writers, but unfortunately, editorially speaking, they get dominated. There's an overall game plan, and all you can do is write the story into the big game plan.
Right.
So a lot of the writers who are excellent writers, or even Mexican writers, they get swarmed in.
James just made a face.
Did you say Mexican writers? I think I'm gonna make Spider-Man do this.
Yeah.
So is there?
Isn't that Speedy Gonzalez is in War of the Independent?
Hey, Speedy.
I get a flash to run for his money.
So I hope it brings a little attention to some of the books that really deserve it. I mean, I was listening to Comic Geek Speak and stuff, and you wind up you listen to that thing and some of the guys don't know Cerebus, never even heard of it or
what?
It's not just to knock those guys. There's a couple guys who don't, and
where the hell have they been?
It's just amazing. Like some of the content that's being talked about is just not. I don't know.
Yeah.
There should be a little more attention toward it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
They do not know.
That's the way I like it, by the way.
Now, have you given any thought to what venue you want to launch this at, or is there going to be a big launch party or anything?
Oh yeah, party toga. We're launching that in San Diego next year.
Nice.
This year we're doing the pinup book in San Diego, and then I'm going to tour around with the pinup book, and it's got some amazing pieces. I mean, guys are sending me stuff in, and this guy Mike Thompson did a shot of Public Enemy, which is going to blow your mind.
Nice.
Walter O'Neill just did this incredible painting of Orcus, which is it's unbelievable. It should be a book cover. That's how good it is. It's just amazing. I got a lot of illustrators who are outside of the who are not part of it, and just to get a different feel for different artists and stuff and illustrators. A lot of illustrators who don't do comic books but have an interest in it to do some pinups. So
wow,
great stuff. It's really good stuff. Yeah, I'm going to tour around with that and keep bringing a little more interest in it. And I just started waroftheindependence.com. Not War of waroftheindependence.com. There's nothing up there right now, which is not how I like it.
It's parked.
So, and then when it comes out next year, I'm sure there'll be a big party and stuff. And
yeah, I'll be there.
If not, I'll be partying. Either one.
Okay.
Just follow me. We'll get a limbo line.
I'll see you in San Diego next year, man.
I'll be there.
Well, going this year, too. So.
Well, I got to launch my book, too.
Well, I'll see you in San Diego this year. But
when are you coming out with Chronicles of Sarah?
Chronicles of Sarah, with any luck, next summer.
Same time.
Same time.
Channel.
Yeah.
Yes. What the hell was my question? Oh, how supportive has the industry been on this project, and how do you find the reception has been so far?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, everybody's pretty much supportive about it. And I'm not battling hero against hero in this thing, and it's just about supporting creators. So,
right.
You'll get your naysayer here and there. Usually on your Newsarama, they'll say something.
Right. But have you gotten more people saying it's about time something like this was done, or the indies deserve their shot? Do you get responses like that?
Well, mostly Dave, you're really cool and good looking, but
which you are.
You're really tall and good looking, Dave.
You're a freaking giant. Everybody's waiting for it. I mean, everybody's anticipating it and stuff. So I'm trying to put it together. I mean, I'm not trying to rewrite anybody's history in this thing, which is you really can't do. So you got to be a little precarious when you're putting this thing together in a storyline.
Right.
And I'm basically writing it and putting it together right now as somebody who enjoys comic books. You know what I mean? And like, what do I want to see? I don't want to see 22 pages of people talking.
Right.
When I open a comic book, I want to read, and I'm going to look at something that I can't see out in the streets. And living in Manhattan, it's got to be pretty damn good. So, you know, I hope there's great battles, and I hopefully to keep at least a battle going in each comic, and a story in itself in each issue. So we'll see what happens. And plus, a lot of the characters who are in this thing have never been seen outside of their own book, which is pretty exciting. Like Cracker Dawn has never been seen outside of Dawn. Cerebus is maybe once or twice outside. I remember the Spawn issue.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And you know, so it's exciting to see all these characters together. And
yeah, because I remember seeing the promotion. I was surprised that some of the guys you got involved in this.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, about a month ago, I was sitting down in front of the computer, and my cell phone rings. It's Sam Keith.
Wow.
And you know, he's like, you know, I heard about this, and I was trying to get a hold of him, and some other guy got a hold of him for me, and you know, he was a great guy, and he said to me, you know, want to put Ashley Wood's Pop Art in too, and I was like, wow, you know, Ashley Wood's an amazing painter and stuff, and so that's how we got the Max and Pop Art too. So
Nice.
Yes.
Wow.
great, yeah, it's really great. I mean, there's very few guys who are not involved in this thing, and it's for their own reasons, and I'm sure they're good.
Yes, yes.
Besides that, what's your promotion going to be like for it? I mean, is Arcana taking on the helm of doing all the marketing and promotion, or is this going to be a collective, and are all the independents that are involved in it doing some sort of promotion on their own to help support it?
Yeah, yes. Arcana, I'm sure, will do he's got a ton of books, too, so...
Right.
You know, he's got a lot to work on. He's like almost a one-man company over there, which is amazing. He gets so much done, and nothing's late. It's just, you know, a pat on the back to him. But yeah, there's probably about 13 or 15 books. We're all tying in. They're all coming out the same month. Trying to talk James into tying a couple pages at the end of his. And yeah, everybody's coming out the same month. Everybody's promoting this stuff, and I'm promoting as much as I can right now on the web, and you know, we'll be doing as much as we can. I'm going to be going around doing signings and stuff and promoting the stuff this year after the pen book comes out. And you just, as long as you're friendly to everybody, I mean, you got to realize that, you know, all the fans are the people who buy the book, and, you know, you just got to appease everybody and see what they, you know, yeah. So I got that going for me.
So, once this project is complete, what are your plans?
So to Hawaii. I got a couple more miniseries which I want to just get out of the way, and it's been working in the back of my head. One is a character that's going to be in the War of Independence. It's called Scab. And another one is we're going to do an offshoot of one of the characters who collects all the other characters together, Retro Girl. She travels through time and space. That is my girlfriend Vanessa Payne's character. She's put that together, designed the whole thing, and her costume, what she looks like, everything. It's just fantastic. And we're going to work on that for like 4 issues. And it's wild. Her story is just almost fashioned after Vanessa. She lives in New York, but she gets her powers, and it just sort of ruins her life totally. So it's more of a life story, also with some superhero stuff in it. And it's going to be really cool to work on, too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. After those two things, I think I'm going to do I was just talking to Chuck Satterley about a 8-page black and white Batman story.
Nice.
Cool.
Chuck's putting that together, yeah, and it should be cool. And also, I have another, I don't know how many issues we're going to do, maybe 6 or 7 issues of Pulp Heroes. Rich Ferguson and I are doing. I'm just about half the second issue done. He has the whole first issue done, so... This is kind of cool. It's kind of a retro thing of kind of like a Doc Savage characters, Doc Savage, The Shadow, Flash Gordon.
Right. It's just going to have that pulp magazine feel, basically.
It's going to be wild. It's a lot of fun. You know,
Nice.
It's all black and white, and we just had a blast coming up with it. Those are characters like Tarzan kind of character too, and it's just a blast to work on those guys.
Right.
Fortunately, I don't have any of those in the world of Independence, but a lot of those guys who are like licensing, I think it's Moonstone, It has, I think, Doc Savage, the Phantom, and it's hard to get characters who are licensed already off somebody else,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a debacle trying to get those. So just stay away from those.
Now,
Big life is cause trouble.
is there a listing, or is it going to be on your website where a listing of every character is going to appear in that project for the listeners that are out there that interested in knowing what characters are going to be in the book?
Sure, it's on my comic space, which is Comic Splash. Comic Splash.
Comic Space.
It's new.
I think it's / Dave Ryan is the / Dave Ryan is that's where everyone's listed on there. Also, I put page 7 up there, which I think take a look at. Service is on page 7,
Right.
and all the heroes from Tenants.
I also believe there's a guy in England, I think, who's putting together a big database on the characters.
Oh yeah, that's actually that guy is I got a few characters I Googled in the beginning, and like some people asked me if they can get their character involved, and I Googled and I went through his site, like Bad Dog and a couple of Captain Africa. There's a couple of different characters, which was handy to me. And then he got this thing together, and I was going to have a contest trying to name everybody on that poster, and he almost did it already. So so much for that poster.
I know on my character he still has unknown.
Yeah. I did email him the rest of Who's Who on there, but he hasn't got around to it. But as long as you're unknown, that's all right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'd rather be unknown than known by the police.
I don't say anything.
Yeah, more like get shot like 50 times.
I know the feds know me.
Whatever.
So now, 20 years from now, you're sitting on a deck on your porch, and you're reflecting on your life. What would you like to be noted for, and what would make you gratified to know that you've accomplished something? What would that be?
Well, 20 years from now, I'll probably be dead of cancer since I'm a
Oh, jeez. Well, he's from Bayonne.
just in case the chemo's still working. I'm not really doing anything to be remembered by anything. I'm just doing this because I'm having a really good time doing it. And that's the most important part, doing this for me. I wouldn't do this if I didn't like doing it.
Right.
And it's just a blast. I mean, all these characters it's going to be so much fun and completely insane drawing all these characters, especially in the fight scenes, and they'll all be fighting armies of the undead, which how can you go wrong with some zombies?
Right. Who doesn't love a zombie?
Yeah, and as you go through it,
house.
I mean, you could pick up a lot of stuff is just a spoof of everything that's going on these days, and here's 1,000 zombies. Everything is a bazillion zombie books, and if you're going to look at the War of the Independence pinup book, I did an indie zombie piece.
Cool.
Which has a lot of the characters as zombies, and they're all eating what appears to be Marvel and DC characters. Yeah. I got too much coffee, man. He's a zombie. It's great.
That's a hyped up zombie.
Yeah, we got Mr. Monster zombie, She zombie. Yeah, it's great.
Damn, I wonder what mine looks like as a zombie.
Got a zombie. I can't make a character zombie. She's 14.
I know she's 15, but still.
I can't. I get arrested. I got to be careful what I do with your character.
Yeah, I know. She's a high school student. But she will grow up.
Yeah, I had to delete some scenes out of there. Sorry.
And who's designing the website?
Nobody. I just bought it. I just actually bought the name yesterday, and I haven't had time to do anything. Why you want to do it?
Are you offering? Actually, I know a guy. I'll get you in touch with him.
You know a guy?
I know a guy, man.
I'm from Bayonne. I know a guy.
I know a guy.
I'm related to a guy.
I know people.
That's cool. So, are you working on are you going to have a trailer for this or anything?
A trailer?
Yeah.
Is that a mock on me being from Bayonne?
I did drive by a trailer park, but no, actual trailer.
You're going to cast actors and do cameos?
No, like a comic book trailer.
Animated.
No.
I love that answer.
No. I guess if you want to do it, you can.
Getting tired of getting monosyllabic.
Every answer I'm having, I'm getting through every magic 8 ball.
Ask again later.
Should I ask again?
Yeah, we'll find a point to know.
Now, the pinup book, is that going to be distributed through Diamond, or is this going to be something straight up conventions?
Quick.
No, I'm going to tour around with it, and it's going to be available out in San Diego first, and I'm going to go around to different stores, first in Manhattan, and do some signings and stuff, and, then tour around to some of the bigger comic shops, and do some signings there and promote it like that, so...
Just out of curiosity, how big is the book going to be? Is it going to be magazine size or standard comic book size?
Standard comic book size.
Okay.
Yeah.
Full color or black and white?
Full color, baby.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Which I'm not calling it. Sean's got some really good colorists working on it. He's doing a couple test pages. I sent him out the first 9 pages, and he's going to fool around with it. The only thing is, also the same dilemma with Scott Lobdell writing is I have to get him all of the characters' color,
Right.
It's like I get 100 and some characters. I mean, how do I describe 100 and some characters? So I'm going to mail him out some of the pages from Penance and stuff and issue, and, it's just a tremendous amount of information to absorb. And
Yeah, I can imagine.
it's going to be editing like crazy, just trying to figure the whole thing out. So
Yeah, I got to send you my pinup soon. Whoa.
Yeah.
yeah, real soon, because I think 2 weeks the latest I got to get it out. So
Nice.
it's a really, really great show.
I'll try to send it to you before the end of the week.
I mean, in the pinup book, I let the artists do whoever they wanted. I just didn't want everybody to do the same character and stuff, so I just got the okay of who they were working on, and they did some great shots. Got Johnny Raygun, awesome, and did I say that cool? Awesome. And some great characters, man. It's really good stuff.
Nice. So what's your tour like? How many events are you doing for the rest of the year?
I'm doing none.
Well, except San Diego.
Is that
San
San Diego?
Diego, then I'm going down to Comic Geek Speak's 300 episode in September, which is going to be a blast.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. And,
Yeah, really excited.
yeah.
Rah,
No,
rah,
it's be a lot of
rah.
fun.
Yeah, they normally do it at their local comic shop, right?
Yeah, Heroes something
Yeah.
or another. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think BMD works there. So I think they're doing it out of there, which is in a mall.
Yeah.
But it's growing so huge right now. There's so many people going to this thing.
Yeah, no.
They didn't invite me.
Oh, you
You
make
just
things
go on
sad.
just go on the website and
I kid.
Yeah, they're a really good group of guys. Peter Rios and these guys are really cool.
yeah, they're great. Yeah, I went out with some of the guys who they do some other podcasts through Comic Geek Speak, Comic Book Insider, and
Right.
Geeks Unite. I think was the other one. We went out last Friday to a bar, and they're good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good fellas.
What's that?
They're good fellas.
Yeah, they're good. It was good. It was pretty good. Up to Marcel, what's the name of the place? It's one guy, Jimmy, one little kid, one punk bartends there. No, Jimmy's a great guy, bartends there.
Be nice to the bartender.
So besides that, any other conventions this year?
I don't think so.
No.
Nah.
And what's your tour?
Maybe something in New York, but that's about it. I'll hit, but...
What about 2008?
Not gonna be... I mean, I'll hit the New York Comic Con, because Arcana's got the table there. I'm sure we'll do another poster or something for that. And, then San Diego. I'm not doing anything until San Diego. I just want to get as much of this done as possible. I just want to try to get, at the very least, I'll have the 4 Issues of Penance and the first issue of War of the Independence done by this San Diego.
Nice.
Nice. Cool.
At least a year in advance, get the thing done, completely in the bag, and so nothing's late,
Right.
Yeah. And you're releasing that single issues, then going straight to trade?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how many issues. I mean, we may just go. I mean, it's kind of you can read it if you don't pick up Penance. Although I'd like everyone to pick up Penance. And well, maybe it might be the 10 issues or just the 6 issues of War of the Independence in the trade. Maybe with the pinup book, which would be cool.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, like a...
But I mean, Crisis on Infinite Earth is 12 issues in that trade. So we can do 10, and plus the pinup book, that'd be 11. And it's a thick book. But.
Yeah. For a book that size, would it be hardcover or softcover?
Probably go softcover. I mean, it's going to be more expensive enough.
Right.
Right.
Okay with that, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
just
there's some guys that like hard. What's that?
It's out of curiosity. When you do the books right now, are you going to a Canadian printing company, or are you going with an American printing company?
Well, Sean's up in Vancouver,
Right.
and I have no idea who his printer is.
Oh, well, okay.
Woo!
Woohoo.
Yeah, I don't know. He's taking care of that. I really don't want to know about it. As long as it's not Malaysian children printing the book up for 2 cents.
Hey, more profit in your pocket.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Hey, yeah.
I'm just playing. You know,
No, you're not.
this is Catch Da Craze. You know, I am crazy. But hey, every dollar counts. But they're eating,
You are
aren't they?
crazy.
They're paying for food. No, but so any final statements you want to share with your listeners?
No.
This has been a really informative interview.
Yeah, not really.
Monosyllabic.
Well, I'm sure when the book comes out, well, especially when the pinup book comes out, we'll get you guys some copies, and I'm sure we'll. Are you guys going out to San Diego or no?
Yeah, I'll be out there.
Who's that?
The crazy man, Sam.
Sam the Crazy Man.
Yeah.
James, you're not going, Michelle?
I'm not. I'll be there next year, though.
Nice.
My first one.
Yeah.
James, no?
No, I can't afford it. I'm doing Tennessee next weekend, so that'll be the biggest one for me this year.
Can't afford it.
I'm looking forward to you, man.
I got my eyes.
I work for my rent.
And then I'll be there by hook or by crook somehow. I'll sell myself something. I don't know.
Oh,
1
man.
cent. I don't know. Anyway.
Sex.
And on to the next podcast, Michelle St. Martin sells herself.
Yeah. Announced here. We're taking bids. All right, we're gonna start an auction on eBay.
Good, that's another show.
It's a pretty easy segue.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn.
There you go.
I'll be in the next episode of Pimp's Hub Hose Down. No,
Oh.
I'm saying.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
I just lost my sponsors.
Yes, you do. No, we're kidding. It's a joke.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yes. It's humor.
Dang.
So you know, we're looking forward to seeing this, and this is a great project, you know, and you know, we're big supporters of the independents because we are independents, and can't wait to see the final product. It looks good. I just saw the pages that you emailed, and they're beautiful. So I mean, you're putting a lot of effort into this. It's obvious, and I'm sure it's going to be a hit.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, Penance is coming out in March, and the 4 issues go right into the first issue of War of the Independents.
Right.
So, pick up Penance. It's going to be great. First issue is just all about Orcus and just how completely insane he is. And we can guarantee some eating people and a lot of gratuitous violence and insanity.
Beautiful.
There you go. There you go.
Yay!
Outstanding.
And somewhere in there might be a little story. I'm not quite sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, throw it in if you can.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, thanks, Dave, for being on the show.
Thanks a lot for having me on.
Oh, anytime. And we'll definitely do a follow-up on Penance and the follow-up for the big debut. And we'll definitely have a bunch of the guys who have their characters in the book so we can keep this going and keep the momentum going and help make it as big as it should be, because it is big.
Thanks. I will get you guys, when I'm out in San Diego, I'm going to get a couple of the pet books signed by as many of the creators as possible, and I'll give them to you guys for giveaways and stuff.
Excellent.
Outstanding. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a great time.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up of this show and more.
Do you like comics? Well, so do we. The Comic Book Novice. Each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 1240 WGBB and AM 1240 WGBB.com. Join comic book creator Mark Torres and his panel as they examine the current state of the comic book industry and interview professionals from the comic book field. That's the Comic Book Novice. Every Thursday night at 9 p.m. here on 1240 AM WGBB and AM 1240 WGBB.com.
In case you haven't heard, the 4th year of Small Press Idol has started over at the Dime Store site. Projects have begun being posted and judged, but it's not too late to join the contest if you're up to it. Projects are being accepted this year through March 25th, so you have until then to get something in and see if you can be voted on to round 2. when the public voting will begin. The URL you want to go to is www.smallpressidle.com/idol07/index.html to read the guidelines and get the links to new projects as they get posted.
Okay, we're back, and that was Dave Ryan, and this was the War of the Independents.
The Independents.
War of Independence sounds better. I'm sorry.
Ooh, Dave, you're not listening.
Like a film, War of Independence. You know what I mean? It's like War of the Independence.
Washington.
Yeah, but then it does. He's right. It does sound like a political drama. Then.
The Star Wars.
Dave, I'm
the
no
Raiders
part of this.
Of the Lost Ark. No, I'm just joking. Nah, but it's a great concept. I'm gonna get lynched by the whole 100 people involved in this thing.
The 300.
Yeah, the 100 Independents.
No,
but it's a great concept. I can't wait to see the end result. When we look at the pages.
Yeah, it's going to be an epic of incredible proportions.
Yeah.
Right?
Incredible proportions.
There's going to be something.
And the cast is getting even bigger and bigger as we speak.
Yeah.
See, that's the part that confuses me. Is that I thought the cast was already there. How is Scott Lobdell going to incorporate as they just keep coming in?
Well, from what I know is they will occasionally put in, like, let's see, a quick cameo, let's say, on the panel.
Okay.
Whoever they can. I mean, I don't know if he's already like settled on. That's it. That's how many people are going to get involved. Because
right.
The more we put in, the more complex it's going to get.
Right.
But as far as I know, I believe I think he's already cast a period.
Right.
And so I don't think it's going to be any more in. I mean, I might be wrong. For what I know.
Look, double talker. It's either it's getting bigger or it's casted. Which one is it?
I don't think it's completely casted yet. I
Right.
think they're going to keep going on. I guess maybe as issues progress too.
Yeah, Dave. What's up? You didn't call me?
We didn't even bother to ask
that
anyway.
Because I know when I got in, they had already cast a good number of people already.
Yeah, but he has 100. That's crazy.
That's huge.
The poster. He did the poster. I forgot to ask.
He did the poster, and
Peter inked it.
Yeah.
And I forgot who colored it, but they just did a stupendous job.
Yeah, I mean, the poster looks like, what you would see like in the Marvel Universe or DC Universe. Right. I mean, it's just like all those characters that he were able to put into that damn thing. Yeah. I wonder how long it took him just to do that.
Actually, I did ask him one time how long it took him to draw it. I believe he said once he got all the characters in, because it took him a while, because some people would send them the character sheets. It took a little time to put them in there.
Yeah, he had to keep adding.
Wow.
Right.
Actually.
So I know it took him several weeks.
Wow.
At least several weeks to get the whole thing in.
Wow.
And I think as he went along, he passed it off to Peter to ink it little by little.
Nice.
So I knew by the time the New York Comic Con was around, it was done. So because I know I joined in probably sometime around last year, November.
So when's he going to start selling those prints?
I know he was giving them away at the New York Comic Con.
Yeah, the New York Comic Con, he was giving them. They were giveaways.
Yeah.
Of the poster.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they flew. They just flew.
Of course. They flew like pancakes.
Yeah, it's a nice piece.
They also had a printing issue with it, being that I think they only got like a very extreme limited amount for like a Comic Con of this, this size.
Right.
So, but all in all, though, I mean, the interest in this has just been unreal.
Yeah, it is. It's a great opportunity for the independents, and as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And anything that's going to promote the little guy.
Yeah, exactly. And most people would not imagine that the independents could do something of this magnitude.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They would think, they're just going to stick to the little characters or the little stories, and for them to do something on the scale of what Marvel or DC would even try every now and again.
Mm-hmm. But see, that's the part I like. I mean, he's accomplishing something without the bull crap. The horse bookie. You know what I mean? Without the political nonsense, without the I want to have final say, well, you can't do this to my character, you can't do that to my character. Everyone in the independent world wants a piece. And this is an opportunity for exposure. Right. And this guy is not just going to... He caught their buy-in because he's putting the time and the quality involved. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so he's taking it seriously. So everyone, they're taking it seriously. And especially when you giving somebody license to use your character with no financial gain, just the fact that you're getting that exposure, you have to trust in that individual.
But the other thing I like about the fact is he is respecting individual creators.
Right.
He wants their input on how to handle their character.
Right.
So that alone is great. That's one of the reasons why I jumped in on it, because not only is he anime character, which is great exposure, true, but he's also going the extra mile about respecting your creation.
Right.
So that's a definitely big draw for all the creators out there.
What I love is how everyone in the community, well, most of them, have really jumped onto this. Right. In terms of contacting them and say, listen, hey, I want to get this in there. Right. I want to get my character in there. How enthusiastic everybody has been. Right.
But it's funny because you said that, and I don't know why I failed to ask this question. I'm good with that and just slipped my mind. But did he offer a contract, non-disclosure contract, or something where there's no fee that everyone have to sign a piece of paper?
Actually,
good question.
For me, no. It was just word.
Because what I'm saying, because what happens when this does take off and somebody said, well, they used my character, where's my end? And it was just a conversation, and not on paper, black and white.
Right.
That's the scary part. I mean, although the independent, it's a tight knit community and the whole bit, but sometimes things get kind of hairy.
You want to protect yourself. I know, as a creator himself, he might want to protect himself in that way. But from what I understand, and from what other creators I know that are involved in this, it's almost like a non-issue. Right. It's like everybody's up on board because they support him. He supports them, and they all see this as a project, not just for themselves, right, but like for the independent community as a whole. Right. Period. Right. So sometimes the word of mouth is almost, basically one should stand by their word. Right. So at this point, word of mouth, or at least the verbal agreement, is as good as the written one. Right. At least in this project. Right.
Which is a rarity.
Very.
Yeah, I mean because we all know. I mean, from working with people, and you go just by good faith, and a handshake. Sometimes things turn sour in any business.
Right, and besides, the independent community is so, let's say it's small, but it's huge. We always run into each other at shows anyway. So if something does go south, you're gonna run into the guy eventually. Right. So rather than have that issue, let's do something that everybody will be agreeable upon, right? And not to have that kind of tension that sometimes can happen with the big two, right? Because there've been many cases where something even contractually, right, they've been done where the other guy gets screwed over, right, by the big two, right? So it's independence. Hopefully this will be a start for something a lot more viable for everybody, right? I mean, the best case scenario is even to get an animation out of this thing. You know what I mean? Something to come off of this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And which is why, when you look at most independent comic books out there, if you go to YouTube, you're going to see so many trailers for their comic books. That's why I was wondering why,
he was like,
he's not even there yet. But I think that'll be a great way to promote something ongoing, especially in a community like YouTube. Yeah. War of Independence, alone, if you think about everyone who's involved, somewhere, some form or another, they're promoting it. Right. The fact that they are connected to this project. Oh, absolutely. So you got all those people, plus the people that support those people. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now you think about putting something like a trailer together, a commercial together, running it on MySpace, on YouTube, on Blip TV, on Uberman, and all the other, you know what I'm saying? You're going to constantly get that exposure.
Right. Right nowadays, the media outlets is so much available just at the fingertips of anybody who wants to promote themselves. Right. I mean, sometimes you don't even have to go through an advertising agency. You can just do it yourself. Yeah. I mean, I've talked to several artists who I've met and looked over their portfolios at shows, and I tell them probably the easiest way for you to promote yourself, just get yourself on MySpace or Comic Space, either which way. Yeah. It's like it's free. That's the main thing. It's free, and the rest of it's up to you. Yeah. So,
hey, you need help with a trailer, Dave? Give me a call. But and I'm a big supporter of this whole thing, and my job, I'm here announcing it here, and I'll be in contact with a lot of you guys out there anyway. But everybody who's associated with War and Independence, we'd like to speak to you on Catch Da Craze. We'd like to help support it and promote it all year round. So if you want to, talk about your character and your involvement, and why you got into War of the Independence, visit us at catchdacraze.com and email me. My email's there, guests@catchdacraze.com, and we'll put you on and we'll get your side and keep this going, keep the momentum going, because we want that come out party next year at San Diego to be big, successful. You know what I mean?
We want Marvel and DC guys to go, why ain't I there?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, huh?
Exactly.
We want them scratching at the door, going,
some form or another, someone's gonna want to touch it. So you know what's gonna happen.
I think I told you before that when the majors see the small guy make big money,
right,
they're gonna want him to go there, join them, so they can make that big money.
Right. They want to capitalize on that.
Exactly.
You know. And then they'll drain it and filter it, and then it loses its just
by that time, hopefully everybody will be onto something better and something else. And not that this isn't good, this is amazing.
Yes, it is. It's a really good project, and I've heard a lot about it, and between
it's amazing how much press it's getting. It's amazing how much press it's getting.
Between that and Small Press Idol with Time Store Productions and all the things that are going on with independence, and trying to give everybody their day in the sun. Right. I'm just glad I finally got to speak with Dave. And most of the guys that are involved, some of the guys that are involved, not most, because there's a big group of you guys out there, you're animals. But some of you guys I've already had on the show. Before I even was familiarized with this whole topic. But if you're an independent fan, if you're a fan of comics at all, you're gonna want to pick this up. And what's the title of his book that's coming out in March? Penance. You wouldn't want to pin up because that's
the lead up.
Right, that's the lead up to it, right?
To Award of the Independence.
Yeah, and that's the beginning. That's Genesis. Yes. So you want to
pick it up when it comes out.
Yeah, pick it up, and we'll have Dave back on the show when it's ready to be released, and we'll definitely hook up in San Diego. So, hey, he's going to be out there, San Diego. All you fans out there, look at his MySpace page, and you'll see all the characters that are involved and all the creators that are involved, and, support him in San Diego.
He'll be at the Arcana Studios booth.
Yes, Arcana. And that's us, and that's our show for today. And you have any questions, I'm not going to say it again because you guys don't talk for nothing. But if you do have any questions,
get on the forum. What is up with you guys? Yeah. No more emails. We want to see you guys on the forum. I want to see some presents, man.
Yeah. Yes.
Let us know that you are out there.
Yes. And, Michelle just hit me with a lawsuit saying she wants to change her name from the Maniac Martin. So,
Hey,
she's like, women's rights. Not in this house. But anyway.
Okay.
But
I'll just ask your wife.
She's still chained up. So I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. I'm out. And thank you, James, for being on the show today.
Thank you. This is James, the voice for 3 years.
It was fun.
And thanks for letting me come on today.
Yes.
And I'm Michelle St. Martin.
Yes, the Maniac.
Mumbles.
Maniac. And we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Ciao.
Philip Clark, Dream Child Press. You're watching Catch Da Craze Podcast.
That's what I'm Wonder Activation, and you're watching Catch Da Craze. And you're watching Catch Da Craze Podcast.
Why are writers, publishers, artists, animators, and musicians running to Catch Da Craze Podcast audio mix? Because we deliver each week, all the time, on time. A show dedicated to the small guy. Visit us online at www.catchdacraze.com for more information, or download us through iTunes. See you later, baby. We are the heart of the industry. Catch Da Craze.
Watch the show, damn it! Watch the show!
Yeah, here we go. Just for my peoples out there. You know how we do. Say the 1, 2, 4. We're busting through the doors. The name is Catch Da Craze, so we're bigger than before. The #1 show that's on the internet. There is no competition, so forget about the rest. We have the #1 spot, like it or not. The show is hot, it's gonna pop. Stop and listen and watch. From comic books to movies, to music and poetry, the whole damn world is for the craze, G. Catch Da Craze, catch Da Craze, catch the craze. Ha, that's what I'm talking about.